all new episode of the Pro Wrestling Show. We talk about, predict the outcome for WWETLC, the final pay-per-view for WWE in 2018. Also, we're going to have hot topics and the Impact Ring Report when the all new Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Welcome to another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Kid Dix. Join in that conversation right here using the hashtag PSW. Acronym stands for Pro Wrestling Show here on Connect. Alright, let's get... We're not going to do the Raw report nor the SmackDown report. We're going to do predict the outcome. And then later on the show, we're going to have hot topics. And then after that will be the Impact Ring Report. Alright. Many of you know that WWETLC, the final pay-per-view of WWE in 2018, comes your way from the San Jose Arena, HP Arena somewhere. But hey, it is what it is. All right, this stat card of so many championship matches and so many gimmicky matches that's going to be involved in these events. All right. The first one is the Raw Women's Championship. Online as champion Ronda Rousey defends her championship against Nia Jax. Now this whole thing got started. We remember Evolution when Nia Jax won the Evolution Battle Royal. When she became the winner, she earned herself a Women's Championship match. Nia was squeaky clean coming off the heels of having that encounter with what's her name? Ronda Rousey. Just didn't turn out to be. But now these days, since the two have come to pass in fruition after Nia turned heel after attacking former teammate Ember Moon and aligning herself with Tamina, Nia Jax has developed a new mean streak and loves to punch people out. You can ask Becky Lynch when Becky Lynch was punched out by Nia Jax in that little altercation brawl. But fast forward now that these two women once respected each other, now can't stand each other, and Ronda Rousey is going to give all her might, and Nia Jax is as well. But I'm going to go with Ronda Rousey in this one because Ronda Rousey has so much momentum going on for her as being the women's champion. She don't want to lose that momentum due to Nia Jax. I'll be shocked if Nia Jax do pick up some form of victory in that matchup. Also, the WWE Championship is on the line as challenger AJ Styles, the former champion who held the championship for a year, goes against new champion Daniel Bryan, who turned into a maniac all of a sudden manifestation. Daniel Bryan showing this new means registry as you saw on not 205 Live, on SmackDown this past week. Daniel Bryan went against 205 stars Mustafa Ali in a good class and showing the opening match on SmackDown. And I want to say Daniel Bryan retains his championship against AJ Styles. And let's hope that AJ gets another shot at the title at the Royal Rumble to continue this feud ongoing. Because it's kind of getting good. And let's see, I guess we'll see on things like that. But Daniel Bryan will retain the championship. So I give Daniel Bryan that. Also, another bad blood feud went on. The Intercontinental Championship on the line as Seth Rollins defends against former Shield brethren Dean Ambrose. Now, this whole thing got started when Seth and Dean found out that Roman Reigns had an illness and he was unable to compete in the ring no more. And they thought they was going for the tag team titles and they won it, and then all of a sudden Dean Ambrose does the dirty deeds and attacks Seth Rollins out of nowhere, leaving their friendship to be split up. So now Seth Rollins wants his revenge. He wants his hands on Dean Ambrose. He's going to get his hands on Dean Ambrose. And I want to say Dean Ambrose wins this match because right now he's going to become the new Intercontinental Champion, but Seth Rollins, WWE has more plans in store for Seth Rollins. I think Seth dropping the belt to Dean will probably be in a good way, not so far in a bad way, but it's going to lead to Dean Seth in 2019 for his path. I think he might be chasing for the Universal Championship. They got to find that face. I think Seth Rollins is that guy. Also, speaking of everything, TLC has become so personal, and it was not going from professional, but it's going to personal. Personal stories, personal mouths, personal dramas. And speaking of this, Natalya goes one-on-one against Ruby Riott in a tables match. Now, the winner must drive their opponent to the table, but Ruby Riott took it a little bit further, because we know Ruby Riott has took it further before. She had the glasses of the anvil that Natalya used to wear and ripped the glasses off, and now she put insult to injury as she had some little fat head of the anvil on the table, and just said she's gonna drive Natalya through that table. So it's so deep, so personal. Things are going to get real tough, but I think Natalya will win in the memory of her father and put this to bed with Ruby Riott. All right. That was half our matches right there. But when we return, we're gonna return to the PTO later on in the show. But when we return, we're gonna have hot topics where certain stars leaving Ring of Honor. Is this going to be true to create their own promotion? You won't believe why. Stay tuned. Back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Kendra Dix here. Alongside there, use the hashtag PSW here on Connect TV. Glad you're here. Let's get to hot topics. Alright, on hot topic this week, Ring of Honor held its final battle event, and it was just everything to imagine. Now, final battle marks the end of the Elite. The Elite has left Ring of Honor. Each one of them had their respective matches. Adam Page, he was still working without a contract. Cody was still working without a contract. The Young Bucks, I believe their contracts come to an end this coming week. But they had their match, and there's rumors going around floating that they're going to start their own wrestling promotion called All Elite Wrestling. And we will find out in the coming weeks on when All Elite will debut. And it's going to be interesting to see All Elite Wrestling coming to into fruition. And they got a billionaire backing them up. So big ups to the Elite for leaving Ring of Honor gracefully. Alright. Speaking of Ring of Honor, WWE is interested in Dalton Castle. That's been reported, but WWE wants Dalton Castle in WWE. I hope they gonna start him on NXT. They gonna go from there, and you're gonna be in the main roster. I can see Dalton Castle becoming a big star in WWE because he has his boys. Vince loves flamboyancy, and who's not flamboyant right now in wrestling than Dalton Castle? He reminds you of Gorgeous George mixed in with Adrian Street, mixed in with Rico, mixed in with, some Goldust, some androgynous wrestlers that could have, kind of in between the middle. But hey, it is what it is. WWE kind of loves it. They want somebody to, hey, just represent the. I don't know if he goes that way. I don't know the LGBT community, but that'd be a start. All right. Speaking of that, Gangrel wins trademark. Gangrel owns the rights to his own name, so Gangrel going forward has his own trademark, owns his own rights. So good for Gangrel for owning his own trademark. past superstars, including the Ultimate Warrior and Ryback, now trademarked their names that they can keep. So, good for them. Also, WWE held their tryouts for the final 2018 for the year. Notable stars such as Penelope Ford, who was, if you recall, went against Jazz for the NWA Women's Championship at their 70th anniversary. So Penelope Ford, maybe Impact need to get her, because the WWE never said nothing about you know who got picked. Who, I think they just evaluate. That's what they do. Also, UFC fighter Ari Spicely was there. Also, Jonathan Cruz, independent wrestler. Many you may know him. MTV's reality star Jeremiah Boney from Florida Bama Shore was there in the tryout. Also, Booker T. Students from the reality of wrestling, Gino and Van Harrison, made an attempt to become WWE superstars. And also, Jay Atlas, remember him? He was in that WWE Big Brother episode with Stephanie McMahon as the openly gay wrestler. They all trying to impress WWE to get their doors in WWE. You would think since Jake Adler was on TV with Stephanie would know who he is, but I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. Also, Colt Cabana sued CM Punk again. Well, Colt Cabana sued him in the first time, but it got the Chicago Cook County courthouse dismissed it because Colt Cabana didn't have enough evidence. Now Cabana suing him again, so let's hope Colt Cabana gets some evidence in the fray here, so he can just do what he needs to do. All right. Also, Fox wants WWE to focus more on their ratings, to come in, because coming in 2019 they will be on WWE. WWE will be on Fox in 2019 fall season, and they want WWE to slightly improve their ratings, because WWE they're in the ones and the twos, at least in the 2 million range, but they want to increase it up to the billion one. So they gotta figure out how to get 1 million more viewers. That's gonna be impossible, but hey, it is what it is. If they can do so. And also HBO wants to do a documentary with Kenny Omega. So Kenny Omega will get his own documentary coming soon on HBO. Pretty interesting. HBO has been exploring doing documentaries. They did one with Andre the Giant, a phenomenal documentary at best, showcasing the life of the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant, of his wrestling career and his legend. Also, WWE with the XFL naming the venues, the cities, as Dallas, Houston, LA, New York, St. Louis, Seattle, and Tampa Bay are all the top 8 cities right now that the XFL want to focus on for those markets. So big up to WWE for that. All right. Let's get back to predict the outcome for WWETLC. All right. Let's get back to it. Now we left off with Southern thing. Okay, Drew McIntyre has been on the road this past year, coming back from injury, and has been dominating and calling himself the Scottish Terminator. So Drew McIntyre goes one-on-one against Finn Balor, who was not on Raw, but some saying that he is developing illness, but he should be okay to go for TLC. So Drew McIntyre on the warpath, and I believe Drew McIntyre will win over Finn Balor. Drew McIntyre is on the roll. Speaking of McIntyre's buddy, Lashley will go one-on-one with Elias, but this time it's going to be a ladder match, but it's a ladder match, a guitar ladder match, guitar on a ladder or something like that. You must pull the guitar down and smash your opponent with the climb the ladder, smash your opponent with the guitar, something like that. But I don't know. It's just like they've been dominating for so long. Lashley kept beating up Elias, so I would think Elias will win over Lashley. I'd be shocked if Lashley win, because you got Leo Rush, but Leo Rush won his match over Elias, so Elias might get that rub back and get that payoff. So, also the Cruiserweight Championship is on the line. Is Buddy Murphy defends against Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander gets his shot one more time, since he lost the championship at Super Showdown. I think Buddy Murphy will win the match. Also, we got two TLC matches. I mean two, one for Raw, one for SmackDown. Let's get with the Raw side of thing. As General Manager-elect Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman. Now, Braun Strowman is injured. He went and had surgery, but there are rumors circling around that Braun Strowman may appear at TLC. So, I believe Braun Strowman will win this match and shock Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin will no longer have power on Raw. It's just temporary power. Also, you got to keep in mind too that there's been rumors and reports that Kurt Angle is set to appear on Raw this week, and we'll see Kurt Angle. And then there's also another breaking news that Mr. McMahon will appear on Raw to shake things up. So I guess McMahon, looking at, since fans are, crashing down, tearing down his brand, his company Raw, he got to say something about it. So McMahon will come up and say something to the about the status and the state of Monday Night Raw this Monday. So we'll see how this all fares out at TLC. And finally, TLC, Asuka, Charlotte, Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's title, a TLC match. I believe that's going to be closing the main event of the show. I firmly believe that. If it don't, I'll be shocked. But how it was supposed to be Charlotte versus Becky Lynch, but then Asuka won a women's battle royal to get added into the match, so it's a triple threat. So it's tough because I want to say they saying Miss McMahon impressed with Asuka. Now this will be, if Asuka wins, this is redemption when they should have had in the beginning of the year. So I want to say my gut saying Asuka, but my mind, my body saying Lynch. It's a toss up. It could go either way, and then some people saying Charlotte might win. It's a toss up. It's a toss up. So it's up to you, the audience out there, what you think is going to be. So that is predict the outcome for. Let's go to the Impact Report. On the Impact Report this week, they're still focusing on this was their last show, so they focusing on everything. They focus on the world title picture, where they're doing a video package on Cage. They're focusing on like Johnny Impact, how Killer Cross trying to get inside the head of Johnny Impact, trying to say you need to be more of a killer if you want to defeat Cage and retain your title. So we also learned that Raven, you remember Raven, we told you last week, Raven helped Ed Edwards escape the insane asylum. Well, Ed Edwards came back and got his revenge on Moose, and now we found out that Moose and Ed Edwards will go one-on-one in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Falls Count Anywhere. So hey, y'all, let the boys fight, and let them fight any way they want to fight. No disqualification. Whole holds bar. Falls Count Anywhere. We saw Joanna Grace with the she did that little Simone Buster on Katarina, and then did the Vader bomb on the Katarina's hired gun and sent them off. And Eli Drake took a visit to Raven at the same asylum and told him he's the last dying breed of wrestling, and he let Raven know that he is. So Raven didn't object to it. So Raven like, hey, Do what you gotta do, because Raven has fall bits before in a Monsters Ball. Raven knows the severity of that match. So that's kind of it. And then Moose and Brian Cage had their match. The Impact improving, but I want to say if Impact going to WG in America, because it look like them the signs are going, because WG in America didn't show Ring Wars this past week, and I'm got to wonder why Ring Wars on Amazon Prime. So it was too early from the beginning. So hey, I understand, but hey, it is what it is. Everyone, I hope you all have a great holiday season. Season's greetings here from the Pro Wrestling Show. Our family, our team right here. You know, you can't see them, but they out there. So thank you all for watching. Joy WWETLC. We will be back here next week. We're going to have 2 shows. We're going to have the TLC review show. Did I get some of it right? Did I get some of it wrong? Hey, we'll find out all together at the event. And plus a weekly edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. So I have been Kid Dick saying so long. We'll see you next week here on Pro Wrestling Show.